everyone, it's Molly. Today we're making molasses popcorn balls. So you're going to need 2.5 quarts of popped popcorn. Now make sure you don't put any butter or salt on the popcorn, just leave it plain. So in the beginning you saw me preparing it in a pot. I just put 2 tablespoons of oil in a pot over medium-high heat, and then 1/3 of a cup of popcorn, and that gave me roughly 2.5 quarts. So you might have to play around with it because not all the kernels will pop, but just so you know, you need 2.5 quarts of popcorn, and I will put the full recipe down below in the description box so you will have that. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, now it's time to make the sauce. So we're going to combine our molasses, okay, our sugar, our salt, our vinegar, and our water in this. You want to use a heavy bottom pot, and then we're going to continuously stir this until the mixture starts to boil. When it starts boiling, we're going to stop stirring it, and we're going to heat it up to 270 degrees Fahrenheit. That's also called a hard ball stage. And I've got an instant read thermometer here, so you'll need a thermometer for this to make sure you get to the right temperature. And just put this over medium-low heat and keep an eye on it, and don't burn yourself. It's really easy to burn when you make candy. I think these will be perfect for Halloween. All right, I will see you guys when this is boiling. Okay, I am so close to 270 degrees. Let's see where we're at. And this would be easier if I had an actual candy thermometer, but I don't. I am at 264. So just a few more minutes so you guys can get an idea of what this looks like. It does foam up, so you just kind of make sure you use a pot that's big enough so it won't foam over, because that'll just ruin your stove. And I think I need to tilt this pan to get an accurate read. Okay, we're at 270, so let's take it off the heat immediately. And then we're going to add the butter. And then you're going to stir it just enough to combine the butter with the rest of the ingredients. So just until the butter is incorporated. And make sure you have your popcorn ready in a bowl, because once this is done, we're going to coat the popcorn. Okay, so I've got my popcorn in a large bowl, and I'm just going to pour my molasses mixture over it. Okay, get all that out. Stir it around and make sure you get every kernel coated with the syrup. And okay, just be very careful because this is hot. You don't want to get burned. It's not worth getting burned over. So just don't burn yourself like I just did. So we're going to grease our hands after this and then form these into little balls. I think pretty small size. You could really make whatever size you wanted, but pretty small. But you need to let this cool a little bit because it is too hot. So once you've got this stirred around and everything coated, let it cool until you can handle it, and then grease your hands, and then we'll form the balls. Sorry, the lighting's a little rough because I'm, too lazy to bring out my camera. So this feels nice and cool, and I'm gonna grease my hands. So it says to make these into about 2.5-inch balls. I hope this is cool enough. So you have to just kind of pick the right time to form your balls. And you just kind of crunch them, don't crunch them too much, but into a little ball. And of course, the most important thing is to not burn yourself, because that would really suck. And then you just set them on a plate or a piece of wax paper and let them cool. So this sauce is still a little warm, but obviously I can handle it so it's not too warm. And my balls, my balls aren't exactly uniform, but that's okay. You might have to re-grease your hands halfway through. All right, this little last ball is gonna be a little bit smaller than the rest, but that's okay. Probably would be a good idea to get these into a single layer, not on top of each other like what I've done. Don't do what I do. And so that way they can dry out and not stick to each other. So I think I'm gonna grab another plate. Wait, move this. See what I'm talking about. I'm going to space them out so that they have plenty of room to dry. See, look how small. Look at I'm horrible at like judging sizes. Like, okay. So just make sure they're not touching. So it says it should make 2 dozen, about 2 dozen, 2.5 inch balls. I have 2, 6, 8, 10, 12, I have 14. So maybe I didn't have enough popcorn. Maybe, I made the wrong size, but just so you know, it may not be 2 dozen. That's really good. Let me go wash my hands. All right, set these out to dry, and then when these are dry, we will taste them with Dan and see what he thinks. All right, I'll see you guys then.
Hey, Molly.
Hey, Dan.
What do you got here? Some kind of a Halloween popcorn thing.
Yeah, I made.
So what is this?
Molasses popcorn balls.
Oh, wow.
Do you want to try one?
No. Yes.
I think.
God, good one.
All right, just eat it.
Night of the Roxbury, bro.
Oh.
That's really good. It's definitely a molasses popcorn ball.
It's not such a terribly strong molasses flavor. More like a caramely flavor.
I wish it was just a little bit softer.
Well,
would have been a little bit easier to eat.
It's a popcorn ball. It's a molasses, So you basically had to make like a candy syrup.
Yeah.
And then you just coat the popcorn with it and form it into balls. And here you are.
Those are some mighty fine looking ball shapes.
I know, you really like my balls. I worked really hard to perfect these balls. It took me a long time to shape them.
I bet you did.
Yeah.
You should-
I had to wait till they cooled down. They were hot. And I was tossing balls all around. All right, so these are sticky, sweet, and crunchy, and very delicious. And I'm sorry for me and Dan, we're just immature. And these are great. They are a classic Halloween treat.
They are. They're absolutely delicious. You guys should definitely make these.
And what's fun is that you can add like peanuts or other types of nuts.
M&Ms.
M&Ms or candy corn. I like candy corn a lot.
Mix it up.
You can add a lot of stuff to this. So you can make it your own. You can put little sticks on them and have popcorn balls on a stick.
I bet my friend Charles would like these.
Yeah, probably. Now, if you have expensive dental work like I do, be very careful when you eat these because you don't want to crunch on an unpopped kernel and break a tooth. And you don't want to yank out a filling with some of this. This is very sticky sweet. They're good. So if you've got good, strong teeth, you should be able to handle these. I have crappy teeth.
They're a little bit.
But they're good.
You shouldn't do that.
They're really good. They're just a classic treat. And
Molly, where'd this come from?
Daniel, it comes from the Woman's Home Companion Cookbook. This is from 1944.
When?
1944. So this is a World War II era recipe, and there's a lot of variations on this recipe in the book. So I think in the future we will try out some of those variations, and then we'll see what else we can do with the popcorn ball. Because it doesn't have to be molasses flavored. You can leave out the molasses if you're not a big fan of that. But molasses is a classic fall flavor. It's the original pumpkin spice. Not really, no pumpkin, but you know what I mean. Molasses used to be a big thing. All right, well, whatever. Whatever, I just disregard. Anyways. These are good. They would be a hit at a party.
Molly, I can sum this up.
Yeah, sum it up.
Eat them.
Carefully. All right. Well, if you like this recipe, you want to see more recipes like this a popcorn ball, then please subscribe and hit the like button. I upload new content every Friday, and Dan and I are always here taste testing vintage recipes.
Bye, everybody.
And happy Halloween.
Hey, Molly. Hey, Molly, do you want to see me try to juggle with these?
Sure.
I could only do 2.
Oh.
You can end that with a
All right. Well, there you go.